Good morning, people, and we've got another proverb. We're on the 19th day of this. It's Proverbs chapter 10, verses 27 to 28, and it says this: "The fear of the Lord adds length to life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The prospect of the righteous is joy, but the hopes of the wicked come to nothing." I'm just going to move the camera a little bit. Where are we? There we are. Now, there have been surveys done, apparently, which have shown that religious people, on average, live longer than non-religious people. Now, having said that, that applies to many religions, and no doubt there are just as many surveys that prove the exact opposite. I'm not so sure that the truth of this proverb is discovered in surveys. Christians die before their time, just as atheists do, and if you're not sure of it, we all die. But the first thing to note is that it's the fear of the Lord that adds length to life. There's no clear contrast in verse 27 in this first verse. The fear of the Lord is absent. That's the contrast. And that is what makes the wicked what they are. There's no fear of God in their eyes. We see this a bit in Exodus 1. We read in Exodus 1, I think it's verse 16, "When you help the Hebrew women in childbirth and observe them on their delivery stool, if it is a boy, kill him, but if it is a girl, let her live." Now that's a shocking thing, isn't it? There's an abortion act going through at the moment to make almost like abortion without any reason. But that's a shocking thing that the midwives had to do. What do we read in verse 17? "The midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt had told them to do. They let the boys live." And then further down in that chapter, because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. So the midwives feared God, but that's in contrast to that's in contrast to Pharaoh, who didn't fear the Lord. "But I know that you and your officials," this is Moses' words, "that you and your officials still do not fear the Lord God." The fear of the Lord is a wonderful thing, and Pharaoh knows that now. Sadly, he knows the fear of the Lord. And of course, for many, it is completely absent in their lives today. Right at the beginning of Proverbs, we also read, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." So that's the first thing to note, the fear of the Lord. What is the fear of the Lord? The second thing we should note is that this verse isn't literally true, is it? The fear of the Lord may result in healthy living. One would hope reckless living would be absent as a Christian. One would hope moderation would guide believers. Doesn't always, but one would hope that. With a greater chance of good health. It may also drive some believers to be completely reckless with their lives and to give their lives for the gospel and die young. And of course, many wicked people die old and full of years. So it's not clear, it's not straightforward what's it saying. As ever, these proverbs make us think. That's the idea, they make us think. It doesn't make sense, we're to think into this. And the third thing to note is that these proverbs are not doctrinal statements, true for all situations at all times. They are, as one guy puts it, they're a gritty observation of life. And it would seem, dare we say, from Solomon's vantage point in his palace, that the fear of the Lord adds length to life. He saw it, he said it. Perhaps he should have tried the mission fields of Africa, when missionaries took their coffins with them, not expecting to come back. Maybe he might have said something different, or take the John Peyton, one of the missionaries to the South Sea Islands. They got there. He was told he might be eaten by cannibals. That was a literal, that was something to be feared. And his wife died within 6 weeks of arriving there, and lost his little boy as well. Reckless with their lives. But is that not the fear of the Lord? So what can we observe? Simple. Live your life under the fear of the Lord, and it will go well with you. For some it will be a good life, for others it will be a hard life. Yet as the next verse says, joy awaits. And that's the key to these two verses. What awaits what awaits, and in the light of the new covenant, eternity awaits. The prospect of the righteous is truly joy, is it not? Does your heart not thrill at the hope of eternity? And yes, the wicked may build their dreams and experience and achieve all that they hope for in life. Fantastic. Admittedly, they probably won't, but some might. But they're short-sighted because eternity awaits them as well. What does Matthew 10:28 say? Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Okay, everybody, every blessing.